Entrepreneur at Money.
And to a banker, to a financier, whether it be venture capital or you name it, is going to be interested in that. So in the case of entrepreneurs out there, if you're able to show some sort of proof that you can lock in clients.
So as you become an entrepreneur, become more intentional about branding yourself as an entrepreneur, about showing up in places where entrepreneurs go, about showing up in places where they are teaching things about entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneur at Money.
You have to continuously improve on your product that you have, on your existing product. Like I mentioned in the definition of competitive advantage, it is time bound.
And so the decision really in 2013 was, I'm going to jump all in. And one of the mindsets that I tried to develop is I tried to insulate myself from me, the person, and what I was trying to do.
Entrepreneur at Money.
Because let's face it, in life, most people don't like new things as consumers. They like safety and numbers. They like to have the same clothes as everybody else. They like to belong. They don't like to stand out. That is human nature.
So you can't keep fighting everybody saying, don't judge me. That's all we have. Before you speak, the only thing we have to judge you by is your appearance. So let it speak for you.
Join us as different entrepreneurs and industry professionals give their expert advice on all issues concerning business and entrepreneurship. Entrepreneur at Money, Mondays and Fridays at 11, only on Money FM, your business radio. Entrepreneur at Money.
For business on the go, visit www.moneyfmzambia.com to watch, stream, and download various programs from anywhere in the world.
Entrepreneur at Money. Entrepreneurial passion, vision, and mission on Entrepreneur at Money.
Money FM 93.7. This is actually Entrepreneur at Money, and we're talking innovative ways of marketing. And in the studio with me, I have somebody who a lot of people might know. It's kind of become a household name now. When you mention Mongo Rice, you automatically think Mubiana Sinyinda. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so very much.
It's such a pleasure to meet you finally.
I'm humbled.
Okay, so Mubiana Sinyinda is an entrepreneur from the Copperbelt University, and is actually studying Bachelor of Engineering in Mining and Engineering. So mining engineering. These are two very different professions here, Mubiana. You have this course going that is totally different from what has actually put you out there. How long have you been into entrepreneurship, by the way?
Less than 2 years.
Less than 2 years?
Yes.
Oh, you're doing pretty well. You're doing so well. Anyway, Mubiana and I are going to be discussing innovative ways of marketing, and we're just going to get right into it. So what is marketing innovation?
Market innovation, this is the unique and different ways of letting the general public to know about the goods and services that are available for them.
All right, and what does it involve exactly? What does marketing innovation involve?
Basically, the first step with market innovation, it involves understanding oneself as an individual. You really need to know the best way in which you can communicate to the people, the customers in this case. There are people who are good with songs. There are people who are good with poetry, and there are people who are good with just writing. And there are people who are good with the Facebook. So for instance, we see people whereby for them, if they just sing a song, the whole nation is moved. Even during campaigns, we see some named musicians, when they just make a song, everyone listens. That's you're marketing your candidate. Just a song. For others, just a poem. The whole country is moved. And others, just Facebook, we're able to turn things around. Then from knowing oneself, you have to know the people you are dealing with. Because from knowing oneself, you have to understand your environment. Because what can actually make sense in Zambia might not actually make sense in another country. And that's what separates marketing students from mining engineering students. For us, we can quite alright do well, but for those who are doing marketing, they're able to adjust quickly. If, for example, you take a marketing student from Zambia to Britain, it will take a short period of time for them to learn the environment. For me, yes, I may adapt, but somebody who has done marketing might do better than me in that process of adapting. Then from adapting to the environment, you also have to know your product very well, so that even when you are manipulating the advertisement, you're able to justify the manipulations. For example, I was selling mung rice. I understood my product very well, that rice contains some carbohydrates, and in carbohydrates they'll give you energy to do almost anything, because we're able to do everything because of energy. That's how I labeled mung rice as a problem solver. Apart from the 3 steps that I've mentioned, there is also what we call some other things that contribute, is knowing is taking a risk. Because marketing, there are some things whereby you're bringing a strategy that is completely new, and the people are yet to familiarize themselves with it. You have to take a risk. Sometimes the message might be received the wrong way. And also, apart from being able to take a risk, as an individual or as an entrepreneur, you really need to be consistent, because people, on the first day, people might not really get your message, but with persistence, you are able to create a picture in people's minds. Exactly.
Okay, now I'm just thinking, in your business, selling mung rice, obviously this is something somebody thought, mung rice has been around for such a long time. Did you initially start with labeling it, with what attracted people to the product, or maybe you were just selling it blankly like that before?
Firstly, I was selling it blankly. Mm-hmm. Then, due to competition, there were a lot of people who were selling mung rice at Copperbelt University at the time I started. And there were also a lot of people who are selling different brands of mung rice. So in order to increase the sales, I kept on adjusting the marketing strategies until I found something that actually worked.
How did you come up with your marketing strategy? What inspired it?
It was a matter of increasing my sales. Then when I discovered that people are receiving it well, I now turned it into a way of entertaining the crowds. Like, even sometimes when I had no mung rice, I could just post something to do with mung rice, that if, for example, there is a football match, I could go around joking with people that, like yesterday we had Chelsea versus Manchester United. It's something whereby everyone is just looking forward for that moment. If it was back then in the days, I would just say, if you want to watch you're in Zambia, but you want to watch the match directly or live, just eat mung rice. Even without a TV, you can watch it. So those things, like, it was more or less like a continuous process of entertaining the people, and in the end, I've come this far.
Okay. Yes. What are some of the benefits of using unique ways of marketing?
The benefits, first and foremost, is you get the right message to the right people. Because this world is quite a busy world. Not everyone has the time to start reading paragraphs of advertisement. Even if it's on Facebook, if it's not that attractive, people just be scrolling down. I see some posts whereby it's just written a Samsung charger, headset. People be like, yeah, so what? But if it's a really eye-catching, no one will scroll down. They'll be like, yeah, what's this thing? So the right message will be received by the right audience, and the sales, you have more sales. From there, like what I used to do, like I kept on entertaining the people. Even when I don't post, themselves will be posting that, where is that mung rice guy? They'll just keep on posting, like to post something about mung rice. In the other, that's the second benefit. If people have received the message well, themselves will do the advertisement for you. You are just quite, let's say, for a week, maybe you don't really have the stocks. You'll just be posting, those Mungo adverts, where have they gone? where have they gone? So from there, the third advert, apart from the second one, is people doing the advertisement for you. The third one is, like the way it is right now with Mungo rice. Anyone who wants to have their sales increase, they can just easily associate them with Mungo rice. So in that process, other manufacturers, they in as much as they are associating their products with Mungo rice to advertise, they're also advertising your product as well. So you find that apart from increasing the sales, ordinary people advertise for you when they will talk about it. And also companies, when they associate their products with you, we saw that happening. Even your own product also will be advertised in the process.
Okay, if you're just joining us, this is Entrepreneur at Money, and we're looking at some innovative ways of marketing. And I've got the perfect person to walk us through that. His name is Mubiana Sinyinda, who's behind the Mongo Rice phenomenon that has gone viral because social media played such an important role in this one. And he's an entrepreneur from CBU, and he's studying engineering. He's studying mining engineering, which is I cannot get over the fact that these are two very different things, but yeah, that's what it means to be diverse. We take a really short break and we'll be right back on the other side with more Entrepreneur at Money. Stay tuned.
Entrepreneur at Money. Entrepreneurial passion, vision, and mission on Entrepreneur at Money.
For business on the go, visit www.moneyfmzambia.com to watch, stream, and download various programs from anywhere in the world.
Entrepreneur at Money. Entrepreneurial passion, vision, and mission on Entrepreneur at Money.
Welcome back to Entrepreneur at Money. This is Money FM 93.7, and for this session we're talking about innovative ways of marketing, and I have Mubiana Sinyinda in the studio with me, and he's here to walk us through that because I feel like he is the perfect person to do that, having been behind the Mongo Rice phenomenon that actually attracted a lot of attention on social media. Yeah, you can just take a page out of his book. So Mubiana, just to get right into our topic, what should one consider when trying to find unique ways of marketing?
First and foremost, there is a general conception which people have that good beer, good wine does not need to be advertised. But in a competitive world, even good beer needs to be advertised because a product is how you sell it to the people. A product is how you sell it to the people. And the marketing part of any business, it should be treated as a matter of priority. Because quite in as much as we have production other parts, but the marketing part should be as attractive as possible. Exactly.
Okay. All right. So I know you're doing mining engineering, and probably wait. Do you see yourself doing more entrepreneurial work in the future?
Exactly. Actually, I have to highlight on that one because business, whatever we do, at the end of the day, it's either buying or selling. So everything can be defined in terms of business. I'm a mining engineer by profession, but the minerals we'll be producing, if they are not sold, mining is not worth it. From the definition of mining, which is the extraction of geological materials from the earth, processing them into sellable and profitable products with regards to safety, health, and the environment. There is a component of profit. If the profit part is missing, there will be no mining engineering. So whatever we do, we have to find, like for me, a mining engineer, the copper that we're producing, we have to find a lot of ways of attracting potential buyers. Right now, China is among the largest buyers, but if we make our marketing a bit attractive, we can actually attract a lot of market. Because the business world is a bit aggressively. Whatever you think of, someone is also thinking about it. Whatever business you are planning to make, someone else is also planning to make it. So you have to be consistent and make sure you come out unique. So basically speaking, business engineering and engineering, they actually coexist.
Okay.
Yes, one cannot do without the other one.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Beautiful. So what do you hope to see in the marketing world when it comes to innovation and in how we market things? What do you hope to see maybe in the next 5 years or 10 years?
In the next 5 to 10 years, I'm seeing social media to be one of the powerful tools because I've just experienced the power of social media. I used to underrate it. I used to think it's that localized. Because I just used to post in the Copperbelt University group and WhatsApp groups associated with the Copperbelt University. But now I've actually seen that Facebook and WhatsApp and other social media platforms are bigger than the Copperbelt University group, and they are bigger than the WhatsApp groups associated with the Copperbelt University group. With the improvement in technology, and more and more sophisticated communicating devices. I'm seeing social media gaining momentum in the next 5 to 10 years.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. If you're just joining us, this is Entrepreneur at Money. I've got Mubiana Sinyinda in the studio with me, and we're talking about innovative ways of marketing. And I like what you said earlier about, when you're thinking about a business idea, somebody else is also thinking about it. And I usually say that a lot because it's true. Sometimes you might think, like, was this person in my head? Because sometimes you might think, oh, this business idea, and then you hold on to it saying, I'll work on it. Yeah, but then someone
has done it.
Somebody has already done it. So that just shows that you have a lot of competition even before you start. Before you start, even when you're just thinking of this brilliant idea, you have a lot of competition.
Exactly.
So standing out
quite a challenge.
It is quite a challenge.
Yes, sometimes it can even take longer than usual, because even me when I started, even my own friends never used to buy from me. They'll be surprised that we've just bought someone somewhere else also selling mungu rice.
Oh my goodness.
My own friends.
Maybe you weren't into marketing like that.
When I started, because the more you do it, the more you paint the picture in people's mind. Mm-hmm. So at first that was normal. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So now, how do I make sure? There's a lot of people there. It might not be mungu rice that I'm selling, but there's a lot of things that I can sell that other people have. Like maybe selling handbags. There's a lot of ladies selling handbags and hair and shoes and all those things. So how do I make sure that I stay on top of my game in that?
The fact that you've mentioned ladies, you have created a picture whereby it's a bit localized. So, for example, if you are selling something to do with the ladies, even your language will change. It will be different from that other language where we find that bus stops whereby already the fact that ladies are mentioned, we already have an idea of the customers. Mm-hmm. So they will first have to understand even the kind of language a lady would want to hear, the kind of things they want to be taught. Mm-hmm. Basically, ladies, there are people who have too much love for their children. We can find ways of taking that as an attention seeker. In this way that whenever you hear that, no, these handbags, your children will be more disciplined, there are those kind of things. So we first have to understand the nature of ladies. Though some people say it's not possible to understand ladies, but in the business context,
it is.
It is. Then from there, also personally, you first have to understand yourself that what's my interaction or relationship with the customers, who are the ladies in this case? Mm-hmm. How do I approach them? What's my best way of communication? Exactly.
Okay, so you're mentioning the customers, but then there's you already. Before you even have a customer base, I know that it's very important to involve your customer. Most of the times we do see these things where maybe a service provider is asking us what we would like to see, in their services being provided and all those things. But when you're just starting out and you don't know exactly, you don't have a customer base, what do you do then when you want to maybe tailor it to a certain audience? What do you do? Because you don't have customers to ask, say, hey, what do you want to see in this market?
I understand the question perfectly well. I would just liken it to my situation. Personally, I don't work alone.
Okay.
Yes, I have also some friends who are much reliable. I don't just mention the names, and I wouldn't really mention the names. Okay. But I have a lot of friends where I consult. Mm-hmm. That's why in the later stage of the mungu rice campaigns, some of the adverts, it wasn't really me who was coming up with them. It was now the customers themselves who were bringing up all sorts of jokes and posts. So basically, one needs to have a strong foundation of. It may not really be friends, but you really need some people to assist you, because on your own you can make it, but you can even do it much better when you have a solid foundation of friends or whoever they may be. Mm-hmm. Yes, those are the people you depend, because you can't be everywhere. Mm-hmm. You can only have maybe a portion or a fraction of what the customers think. So using those other friends, you can have a more general picture of what the customer is expecting. So it's not just the advertiser alone. And you also have to, because the world is ever changing. The marketing part of any business also needs to be dynamic, and because marketing is about relating to the people, and the people are changing on a daily basis due to technology and other factors. So even the way we relate to the people should also keep on changing. The way we used to relate to customers 5 years ago may not really be the way we have to relate with people presently. Mm-hmm. So if the marketing part of any business is dynamic, at all time the message will be received by the recipients who are the customers.
Okay. Now, do you think that there's such a thing as too much innovation?
No.
In a marketing strategy?
No, there's nothing like too much innovation, because the hope of any businessman is actually to make even more than 100% profit. As long as you're not making more than 100% profit, you can't relax.
Okay.
Yes. If anything, truthfully speaking, I may not really enter the minds of these businessmen, but if it was possible, they would prefer all the time it's just their product which is on people's lips. That is everyone's wish.
Okay.
Yes. Even me personally, if I was just to be honest, if I was to be asked whether I still want the Mungra's thing to continue, I was going to say yes, despite that it has already reached the people. So there's nothing like being too much innovative.
Okay.
Yes, one is never content. Yes.
All right, that's business, I guess.
Yes.
You always have to aim for the
higher.
topmost.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, this brings us to the end of our session. Thank you so much for coming through, Mubiana, and sharing these innovative ways of marketing with us.
Thank you very much to the media. At the end of the day, we are because of the media. The media is so much influential. Even this Mungrais campaign, it's the media that contributed much a lot. And if there's anyone who's willing to work with me, they are most welcome to come on board.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much. This is Money FM 93.7, and this has been Entrepreneur at Money. Mubiana Sinyinda and I were talking about innovative ways of marketing. Do stay tuned.
Entrepreneur at Money. Entrepreneurial passion, vision, and mission on Entrepreneur at Money.
Entrepreneur at Money.
And to a banker, to a financier, whether it be venture capital or you name it, is going to be interested in that. So in the case of entrepreneurs out there, if you're able to show some sort of proof that you can lock in clients.
So as you become an entrepreneur, become more intentional about branding yourself as an entrepreneur, about showing up in places where entrepreneurs go, about showing up in places where they are teaching things about entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneur at Money.
You have to continuously improve on your product that you have, on your existing product. Like I mentioned in the definition of competitive advantage, it is time bound.
And so the decision really in 2013 was, I'm going to jump all in. And one of the mindsets that I tried to develop is I tried to insulate myself from me, the person, and what I was trying to create.
Entrepreneur at Money.
Because let's face it, in life, most people don't like new things as consumers. They like safety and numbers. They like to have the same clothes as everybody else. They like to belong. They don't like to stand out. That is human nature.
So you can't keep fighting everybody saying, don't judge me. That's all we have. Before you speak, the only thing we have to judge you by is your appearance. So let it speak for you.
Join us as different entrepreneurs and industry professionals give their expert advice on all issues concerning business and entrepreneurship. Entrepreneur at Money, Mondays and Fridays at 11, only on Money FM, your business radio. Entrepreneur at Money.
For business on the go, visit www.moneyfmzambia.com to watch, stream, and download various programs from anywhere in the world.